One friend has asked, will you please explain to us what are some of the other factors which can make one conscious while dreaming? This is a significant question for all those who are interested in meditation, because meditation is really transcending the process of dreaming. You are constantly dreaming, not only in the night, not only while you are asleep. You are dreaming the whole day. This is the first point to be understood. While you are awake, you are still dreaming. Just close your eyes any time of the day, relax the body, and you will feel the dreaming is there. It never disappears. It is only suppressed by our daily activities. It is like the stars in the day. In the night you see the stars, in the day you cannot see them, but they are there, always, simply suppressed by the sunlight. So if you move in a deep well, even in the day, you can see the stars in the sky. A certain darkness is needed to see the stars. So move in a deep well and look from there, from the bottom, and you can see the stars in the day also. The stars are there. It is not that in the night they are there, in the day they are not. They are always there. In the night you can see them easily. In the day you cannot see, because the sunlight becomes a barrier. The same is with dreaming. It is not that you dream while you are asleep. In sleep, you can feel dreams easily, because the daily activity of the day is no more. So the inner activity can be seen and felt. When you get up in the morning, the dreaming continues inside. You start acting outside. This process of activity, of daily activity, simply suppresses the dreaming. The dreaming is there. Close your eyes, relax on an armchair, and suddenly you can feel the stars are there. They have not gone anywhere. The dreams are there. Always it is a continuous activity. First thing. Second thing, if the dreaming continues, you cannot be said to be really awake. In the night you are more asleep, in the day less asleep. The difference is relative. Because if the dreaming is there, you cannot be said really awake. Because dreaming creates a film over the consciousness. This film becomes like a smoke. You are surrounded by it. You cannot be really awake while you are dreaming, whether in the day or in the night. So second thing, you can be said only awake when there is no dreaming at all. We call Buddha the awakened. What is this awakening? This awakening is really the cessation of inner dreaming. There is no dream inside. You move there, no dream. As if there is no star in the sky. It has become pure space. When there is no dreaming, you become pure space. This purity, this innocence, this non-dreaming consciousness is what is known as enlightenment, the awakening. For centuries, spirituality all over the world, east or west, has said that man is asleep. Jesus says this, Buddha says this, Upanishads talk about this. Man is asleep. So while you are asleep in the night, that is relatively you are more asleep. In the day you are less asleep. But spiritually man is asleep. This has to be understood. What is meant by this? Gurdjieff in this century emphasized too much on this fact that man is asleep. Rather, he said man is a sort of sleep. Everyone is deep asleep. What is the reason to say that? You cannot know, you cannot remember who you are. Or do you know who you are? If you meet a person on the street and you ask him who you are and he cannot reply, what you will think? You will think either he is mad, intoxicated, or just asleep. If he cannot answer who he is, what you are going to think about him? But on the spiritual path, everyone is like that. You cannot answer who you are. This is the first meaning when Gurdjieff or Jesus or anyone says that man is asleep. You are not conscious about yourself. You don't know, you have never met yourself. You know many things in the objective world, but you don't know the subject. Your state of mind is like this, as if you had gone to see a film. On the screen the film is running, and you have become so absorbed in it that the only thing you know is the film, the story, whatsoever is appearing on the screen. And if someone asks you who you are, you cannot say anything. Dreaming is just the film. Just the film. Mind reflecting the world. In the mirror of the mind, the world is reflected. That is what is dreaming is. And you are so much deeply involved in it, so much identified with it, you have completely forgotten who you are. This is what sleep means. The dreamer has lost into the dreaming. You see everything except yourself. You feel everything except yourself. You know everything except yourself. This self-ignorance is sleep. Unless dreaming ceases completely, you cannot awake to yourself. You might have felt it sometimes. Looking at a film for 3 hours, when suddenly the film stops, you come back to yourself. You remember 3 hours have passed. You remember that it was just a film. You feel your tears. you have been weeping because the film was a tragedy, or you were laughing, or you were doing something and now you laugh about yourself. What nonsense you were doing. It was just a film, just a story. There was nothing on the screen, just a play of light and shadow, just electrical play. Now you laugh, you have come back to yourself, but where you were for these 3 hours? You were not at your center. You had moved completely to the periphery. Where the film was moving, you had gone there. You were not at your center. You were not at yourself. You were somewhere else. This happens in dreaming. This is what our life is. Because the film runs only for 3 hours, this dreaming is running for lives and lives and lives. Even if suddenly the dreaming stops, you will not be able to recognize who you are. Suddenly, you will feel very strange, even afraid. You will try to move again into the film because that is known, acquainted. You are well adjusted to it. So when it happens, there is a path, particularly in Zen, which is known as sudden path, sudden enlightenment. There are techniques. In these 112 techniques, there are many techniques which can give you sudden awakening. But it is too much, and you may not be capable to bear it. You may just explode. You may die even. Because you have lived with dreaming so long that you have no memory that who you are if there is no dreaming. If this whole world suddenly disappears and you are alone left, it will be such a great shock, you will die. The same happens if suddenly all dreaming disappears from the consciousness. Your world has disappeared because your world was your dreaming. We are not really in the world. Or the world consists not of outside things, but of our dreams. So everyone lives in his own dream world. Remember, there is not one world as we go on talking about. Geographically it is. But psychologically, there are as many worlds as there are minds. Each mind is a world of its own. And if your dreaming disappears, your world disappears. Without dreams, it is difficult for you to live. That's why sudden methods are not used generally. Only gradual methods are used. This is good to be noted. Gradual methods are used not because there is any need of gradual process. You can suddenly jump into realization. This very moment. There is no barrier. There has never been any barrier. You are already that realization. You can jump this very moment. But that may prove dangerous, fatal. You may not be capable to bear it. It is going to be too much for you. You are attuned only to false dreams. Reality you cannot face. You cannot encounter it. You are a hothouse plant. You can live in your dreams. They help you in many ways. They are not just dreams for you, they are the reality. Gradual methods are not because realization needs time. Realization needs no time. Realization needs no time at all. Realization is not something to be attained in the future. But in gradual methods, you will attain it in future. So what the gradual methods are doing? They are not really helping you to realize realization. They are helping you to bear it. They are making you capable, strong. So when the happening happens, you can bear it. There are certain methods. Immediately, you can force your way into enlightenment. But you will not be capable to bear it. You may go blind. Too much of light. Or you may suddenly die. Too much of bliss. This dreaming, this deep sleep we are in, how can it be transcended? This question is meaningful in transcending it. Will you please explain to us what are some of other factors which can make one conscious while dreaming? So I will talk about two methods more. One we discussed yesterday. Two more, even more easier. One is to start acting, believing as if the whole world is just a dream. Whatsoever you are doing, remember this is a dream. Eating, remember this is a dream. Walking, remember this is a dream. Let your mind continuously remember while you are awake that everything is a dream. This is the reason of calling the world Maya, illusion, dream. This is not a philosophical argument. Unfortunately, when Sankara was translated into English, German and French, in Western languages, he was understood just to be a philosopher. That has created much misunderstanding. In the West, there are philosophers, for example, Berkeley, who says that the world is just a dream, a projection of the mind. But this is a philosophical theory. Berkeley proposes it as a hypothesis. When Sankara says that the world is a dream, it is not philosophical, not a theory. Sankara proposes it as a help, as a support for a particular meditation. And this is the meditation. If you want to remember while dreaming that this is a dream, you will have to start while you are awake. As the case is, while you are dreaming, you cannot remember this is a dream. You think this is a reality. Why you think this is a reality? Because the whole day you are thinking everything is a reality. That has become the attitude, fixed attitude. While awake, you were taking a bath, it was real. While awake, you were eating, it was real. While awake, you were talking with a friend, it was real. So the whole day, the whole life, whatsoever you are thinking, your attitude is, this is real. This becomes fixed. This becomes a fixed attitude in the mind. So while you are dreaming in the night, the same attitude goes on working. This is real. So let us first analyze. There must be some similarity between dreaming and reality. Otherwise, the attitude must feel some difficulty. I am seeing you now. I close my eyes and I go into a dream and I see you in my dream. In both seeing, there is no difference. While I am actually seeing you, what I am doing? Your picture is reflected in my eye. I am not seeing you. Your picture is mirrored in my eye. And then that picture is transformed through mysterious processes. Science is still not in a position to say how. Then that picture is transformed chemically and is carried to somewhere inside the head. Science is still not able to say where exactly the seeing happens. It is not happening in the eyes. Eyes is just the window. I am not seeing you by the eyes. I am seeing you through the eyes. In the eyes you are reflected. You may be just a picture. You may be a reality. You may be a dream. Remember, dreams are three-dimensional. I can recognize a picture because picture is two-dimensional. Dreams are three-dimensional. So they look exactly like you. And the eye cannot say whether whatsoever is seen is real or unreal. There is no way to judge. Eye is not the judge. Then the picture is transformed into chemical waves. Those chemical waves are electric waves. They go somewhere in the head. It's still unknown. Where is the point where I come in contact with this process of seeing? Just waves reach to me, and then they are decoded. Then I again decode them and know what is happening. I am always inside and you are always outside, and there is no meeting. So whether you are real or just a dream is a problem. Even this very moment, there is no way to judge whether I am dreaming or you are really here. Listening me, how can you say that really you are listening me and you are not dreaming? There is no way. That's why the attitude which you maintain the whole day is carried in the night. And while you are dreaming, you take it as real. Try the opposite. That's what Sankara means. He says the whole world is an illusion. He says the whole world is a dreaming. Remember this. But we are stupid people. If Sankara says this is a dream, then we say, then what is the need to do anything? If this is just a dream, then there is no need to eat. Why go on eating and think this is a dream? Don't eat. But then remember, when you feel hunger, it is a dream. Or eat. And when you feel that you have eaten too much, remember this is a dream. Sankara is not saying you to change the dream, remember. Because the effort to change the dream is again falsely based that it is real. Otherwise there is no need to change anything. Sankara is saying just whatsoever is the case is dream. Remember this. Don't do anything to change it. Just remember it constantly. If you can remember it for 3 weeks continuously, whatsoever you are doing, it is a dream. In the beginning it is very difficult. You will fall again and again into the old pattern of the mind and will start to think this is a reality. You will have to constantly awake yourself. This is a dream. If for 3 weeks continuously you can maintain this attitude, in the 4th or 5th week, suddenly any night, while dreaming, you will suddenly remember this is a dream. This is one way to penetrate dreams with consciousness, with awareness. If you can remember in the night while dreaming that this is a dream, then in the day you will not need any effort to remember that this is also a dream. You will know it then. In the beginning, while you are practicing, this will be just a make-believe. You start just in faith that this is a dream. But when you can remember in dreaming that this is a dream, it will become a reality. Then in the day while you will get up, you will not feel that you are getting up from sleep. You will feel you are simply getting up from one dreaming to another. Then it will become a reality. And if the whole 24 hours become dreaming, and you can feel and remember, you are standing at your center now. And your consciousness has become double-arrowed. You are feeling dreams, and if you are feeling them as dreams, you will start to feel the dreamer, the subject. If you take dreams as real, you cannot feel the subject. If the film has become real, you forget yourself. When the film stops and you know that it was unreal, your reality erupts, breaks out. You can feel yourself. This is one way. Another. This has been one of the oldest Indian methods. That's why we have insisted on the world being unreal. We don't mean it philosophically. We don't say that this house is unreal, so you can pass through the walls. We don't mean that. When we say this house is unreal, this is a device. This is not an argument against the house. When Berkeley proposed that the whole world is just a dream, one day he was walking with Dr. Johnson in the morning. Dr. Johnson was a hard realist. So Berkeley said, "Have you heard about my theory? I'm working on it. And I feel that the whole world is unreal. And it cannot be proved that it is real." And the burden of proving is on others who say that this is real. I say this is unreal, just like dream. Johnson was not a philosopher, but a very acute logical mind. They were on the street, just passing, walking in the morning. Lonely street. Johnson takes one stone in his hand and hits Berkeley's leg. Blood oozes out. And Berkeley screams. And Johnson says, "Why are you screaming? The stone is just a dream." So whatsoever you say, you believe in the reality of the stone. Your saying is different. Your behaving is different and contrary. If your house is just a dream, then where you are going back? Where are you going back after the morning walk? If your wife is just a dream, you will not meet her again. Realists have always argued this way, but they cannot argue this way with Shankara, because it is not a philosophical theory. It is not saying anything about the reality. It is not proposing anything about the universe. Rather, it is a device to change your mind, to change the basic fixed attitude, so that you can look about the world in a different, altogether different way. This is a problem, continuously a problem for Indian thought. Because for Indian thought, everything is just a device for meditation. We are not concerned about its being true or untrue. We are concerned about its utility in transforming man. This is emphatically different from Western mind. When they propose a theory, they are concerned whether this is true or untrue, whether this can be proved logically or not. While we propose anything, we are not concerned about its truth. We are concerned about its utility. We are concerned about its capability to transform human mind. It may be true, it may not be true. Really, it is neither. It is simply a device. I have seen outside flowers and the morning sun rising, and everything just beautiful, and you have never been outside, and you have never seen flowers, and you have never seen the morning sun, you have never seen the open sky. You don't know what beauty is. You have lived in a closed prison. I want you to lead you out. I want you to come out under the open sky, to meet these flowers. How I am to do it? You don't know flowers. If I talk about flowers, you think he has gone mad. There are no flowers. If I talk about the morning sun, you think he is a visionary. He sees visions and dreams. He is a poet. If I talk about the open sky, you start laughing. Because where is the open sky? There are only walls and walls and walls. So what am I to do? I must devise something which you can understand and which helps you to go out. So I say the house is on fire, and I start running. It becomes infectious. You run after me and go out. Then you will know what I said was neither true nor false. It was just a device. Then you will know flowers, and then you can forgive me. Buddha is doing that, Mahavir is doing that, Shiva is doing that, Shankara is doing that. We can forgive them later on. We have always forgiven them. Because when we go out, then we know what they were doing. And then we understand that it was useless to argue with them, because it was not a question of argument. The fire was nowhere, but we could understand only that language. Flowers were, but we couldn't understand the language of the flowers. Those symbols were meaningless for us. So this is one. Then there is a second method. From the other pole. This method makes one pole, The other method makes another pole of the same thing. One is start feeling, remembering that everything is a dream. The another is don't think anything about the world, just go on remembering that you are. Gurdjieff used this second method. This second method comes from Sufi tradition, from Islam. They worked on it very deeply. Remember, I am. Whatsoever you are doing, you are drinking waters, you are eating your food. Remember, I am. Go on eating and go on remembering, I am. I am. Don't forget this. It is difficult because you think already that you know that you are, so what is the need to go on remembering this? We never remember this. But it is a very, very potential technique. Walking, remember I am. Let the walking be there, go on walking, but constantly fixed in this self-remembering. I am, I am, I am. Don't forget this. You are listening to me. Just do it here. You are listening to me. Don't be so much immersed, involved, identified, whatsoever I am saying. Remember, go on remembering. Listening is there. Words are there. Someone is talking. You are. I am. I am. I am. Let this I am be a constant factor of awareness. It is very difficult. You cannot remember even for a single minute continuously. Try it. Put your watch before your eyes and look at the hand moving. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Go on looking at. Do two things. Look at the movement of the hand, which is showing seconds, and continuously remember I am. I am. With every second, go on remembering I am. Within 5 or 6 seconds, you will feel you have forgotten. Suddenly you will remember, many seconds have passed and I have not remembered I am. Even to remember for 1 complete minute is a miracle. And if you can remember for 1 minute, the technique is for you. Then do it. You will be capable through it to go beyond dreams and to know that dreams are dreams. How it works? If the whole day you can remember I am, then this will penetrate your sleep also. And when you will be dreaming, continuously you will remember I am. If you can remember I am in the dream, suddenly dream becomes just a dream. Then the dream cannot deceive you. Then the dream cannot be felt as reality. This is the mechanism. The dream is felt as reality because you are missing the self-remembering. You are missing I am. If there is no remembering of myself, then dream becomes reality. If there is the remembering of myself, then the reality, the so-called reality, becomes just a dream. This is the difference between the dreaming and the reality. For a meditative mind, or for the science of meditation, this is the only difference. If you are, then the whole reality is just a dream. If you are not, then the dreaming becomes reality. Nagarjuna says that now I am, so the world is not. While I was not, the world was. Only one can exist. That doesn't mean that the world has disappeared. Nagarjuna is not telling about this world. He is telling about the world of dreaming. Either you can be, or the dreams can be. Both cannot be. So the first step will be to continue remembering constantly I am. Simple I am. Don't say Ram, don't say Sham, don't use any name, because that you are not. Just simply I am. Try it in any activity and then feel. The more real you become inside, the more unreal becomes the surrounding world. Reality becomes I and the world becomes unreal. The world is real and the I is unreal. Both cannot be real. Your feeling that you are is just a dream now. The world is real. Change the emphasis. Become real. The world will become unreal. Gurdjieff worked on this method continuously. His chief disciple, P.D. Ouspensky, relates that when Gurdjieff was working on him with this method, and he was practicing for 3 months continuously, this remembering I am. After 3 months, everything is stopped. Thoughts, dreaming, everything is stopped. Only one note remained inside, like eternal music. I am. And now this was not an effort. This was a spontaneous activity going on. I am. Then Gurdjieff called Ouspensky out of the house. For 3 months he was kept in a house, not allowed to move out. Then Gurdjieff said, "Come with me." They were residing in a Russian town, Tiflis. Gurdjieff called him out and they went into their streets. And Ouspensky writes in his diary that for the first time I could understand what Jesus means when he says man is asleep. The whole city looked me asleep. People were moving in their sleep. Shopkeepers were selling in their sleep. Customers were buying in their sleep. The whole city was asleep. I looked at Gurdjieff, only he was awake. The whole city was asleep. They were angry, they were fighting, they were loving, buying, selling, doing everything. Ouspensky says, now I could see their faces, their eyes. They were asleep. They were not there. The inner center was missing. It was not there. Ouspensky said to Gurdjieff, I don't want to go more. What has happened to this city? Everyone seems asleep, drugged. Gurdjieff said, nothing has happened to this city. Something has happened to you. You have been undrugged. The city is the same. The same you moved before 3 months. But you couldn't see other people as asleep because you were also asleep. Now you can see because a certain quality of awareness has come to you. 3 months practicing continuously I am. You have become, in a very small measure, but you have become aware. A part of your consciousness has gone beyond dreaming. That's why you can see everyone is asleep, dead, moving, drugged, as if hypnotized. Ouspensky says, I couldn't bear that phenomena. Everyone asleep. Whatsoever they are doing, they are not responsible for it. They are not. How can they be responsible? He came back and he asked Gurdjieff, "What is this? Am I deceived somehow? Have you done something to me that the whole city seems asleep? I cannot believe my own eyes." But this will happen to anyone. If you can remember yourself, then you will know that no one is remembering himself and going on, moving. The whole world is asleep. But start. While you are awake, any moment you remember, start, I am. I don't mean that you have to repeat the word I am. The feeling, taking a bath, feel I am. Let there be the touch of that cold shower. And let yourself be there behind, feeling it and remembering I am. Remember, I am not saying verbally you have to repeat I am. You can repeat it. But that repetition will not give you awareness. That repetition may even create more sleep. There are many people who are repeating many things. They go on repeating Ram, Ram, Ram. And if they are just repeating without awareness, then this Ram, Ram, Ram becomes a drug. They can sleep well through it. That's why Mahesh Yogi's so much appeal in the West. Because he is giving mantras to repeat. And in the West, sleep has become one of the most severe problems. Sleep is totally disturbed. Natural sleep has disappeared. Only through tranquilizers, drugs you can sleep. Otherwise, sleep has become impossible. That is the reason of Mahesh Yogi's appeal. Because if you constantly repeat something, that repetition gives you deep sleep. That's all. So the so-called transcendental meditation is nothing but a psychological tranquilizer. Nothing. Just a tranquilizer. It helps. It is good. For sleep, not for meditation. You can sleep well. A more calm sleep will be there. It is good. But it is not meditation at all. If you repeat a word constantly, it creates a certain boredom. And boredom is good for sleep. So anything monotonous, repetitive can help sleep. The child in the mother's womb sleeps for 9 months continuously. And the reason you may not be knowing. The reason is only the tick-tack of the heart of the mother. Continuous. The beat, heartbeat. It is one of the most monotonous things in the world. Continuously repeating the same beat. So child is drugged. He goes on sleeping. That's why whenever the child is crying, screaming, creating any problem, the mother puts his head near her heart, and suddenly he feels good and goes down into sleep. Again the heartbeat. He becomes again a part of the womb. That's why even if you are not a child, your wife, your beloved, puts your head on her heart, you will feel sleepy. The monotonous beat Psychologists suggest that if you cannot sleep, then concentrate on the clock. Just concentrate on the clock, tick-tack, tick-tack. It repeats the heartbeat. You can fall asleep. Anything repetitive will help. So this I am, remembering of I am, is not a verbal mantra. It is not going to be repeated verbally. Feel it. Be sensitive to your being. When you touch someone's hand, don't only touch his hand, feel your touch also. Feel yourself also that you are here in this touch, present totally. Eating, don't only eat, feel yourself also eating. This feeling, this sensitivity must penetrate deep and deep into your mind. One day, suddenly, you are awake at your center, functioning for the first time. And then, the whole world becomes a dream. And then you can know your dreaming is a dreaming. And when you know that your dreaming is dreaming, dreaming stops. It can continue only if it is felt as real. It stops if it is felt as unreal. And once dreaming stops in you, you are a different man. The old man is dead. The sleepy man is dead. That a human being you were, you are no more. For the first time you become aware. For the first time in the whole world which is asleep, you are awake. You become a Buddha, awakened one. With this awakening there is no misery. After this awakening there is no death. Through this awakening there is no more fear. You become for the first time free of everything. To be free of sleep, to be free of dreaming, is to be free of everything. You attain freedom. Hate, anger, greed disappear. You become just love. Not loving, you become just love. One question more, and it is related to the first. If we are all actors in a play that is already written, how can meditation transform us without the play itself containing a chapter for our transformation at a specific time? And if such a chapter is there already waiting to unfold at its due time, why meditate? Why make any efforts at all? The same fallacy. I am not saying that everything is determined. I am not proposing it as a theory to explain universe. It is a device. India has always been working with this device. Fate. It is not meant thereby that everything is predetermined. It is not meant at all. The only reason to propose this is if you take it as if everything is determined, it becomes a dream. If you take it, if you believe it this way that everything is predetermined, you are going to die on a particular date. It is not determined. It is not fixed. No one is so much interested in you. And the universe is completely unaware of you when you are going to die. It is so useless a thing. Your death is irrelevant to the universe. Don't think yourself so much important that the whole universe is determining your day of death, time, minute, moment. No. You are not the center. It makes no difference to the universe whether you are or you are not. But this fallacy goes on working in our mind. It is created in childhood and it becomes unconscious. A child is born. He cannot give anything to the world. But he has to take many things. He cannot reply. He cannot give back anything. He is so impotent. Just helpless. He will need food. He will need love. He will need shelter. He will need warmth. Everything is to be supplied. A child is born absolutely helpless, particularly man's child. No animal is so helpless. That's why no animal could create family. There is no need. But man's child is so helpless, absolutely helpless. He cannot exist without there being a mother to protect, a father, a family, a society. He cannot exist. He will die immediately. He is so dependent. He will need love. He will need food. He will need everything. And he will demand everything. And the mother will supply. The father will supply. The family will supply. The child begins to think that he is the center of the whole world. Everything is to be supplied to him. He has but to demand enough. No other effort is needed. So the child begins to think himself the center, and everything just goes on around him, for him. The whole existence seems to be created for him. The whole existence was waiting for him to come and demand, and everything will be fulfilled. This is a necessity, that his demands should be fulfilled, otherwise he will die. But this necessity becomes very dangerous. He grows with this attitude that I am the center. By and by, the more he will demand, because a child's demands are very simple, they can be supplied. As he will grow, his demands will become more and more complex. Sometimes it will not be possible to supply, to fulfill. Sometimes it may be absolutely impossible. He may demand the moon or anything. The more he will grow, the more demands will become complex, impossible. Then frustration sets in. And then the child begins to think that now he is being deceived. And he has taken it for granted that he was the center of the world. Now problems will be there. And by he will be dethroned. He will be dethroned. When he will become adult, he will be completely dethroned. Now he knows that he is not the center. But deep down the unconscious mind goes on thinking in terms that he is the center. People come and ask me whether my fate is determined. They are asking whether I am so important, so significant for this universe, that my fate must be determined beforehand. What is my purpose, they ask. Why I was created. This childhood nonsense that you are the center create these questions For what purpose I am created? You are not created for any purpose. And it is good that you are not created for any purpose. Otherwise you will be a machine. A machine is created for some purpose. Man is not created by some purpose, for something. No. Man is just the out overflowing creation. Everything is, flowers are there, and the stars are there, and you are here. Everything is just a overflowing, a joy, a celebration of existence with no purpose. But this theory of fate, predetermination, that creates problems, because we take it as a theory. We think that everything is determined. Nothing is determined. But this technique uses it as a device. When we say everything is determined, this is not said to you as a theory. The purpose is this, that if you take life as a drama, predetermined, then it becomes a dream. For example, if I know that this day, this night, I was going to talk to you, and it is predetermined what words I should speak on that day. And if it is so fixed that nothing can be changed, I cannot utter a single new word, suddenly I am not related at all with the whole process, because then I am not the source of action. If everything is determined, and if every word is to be spoken by the universe itself, or the divine, or whatsoever name we choose, I am no more the source of it. I can become one observer, simple observer. If you take life as predetermined, then you can observe it. You are not involved. If you are a failure, it was predetermined. If you are a success, it was predetermined. If both are predetermined, both become equivalent, synonymous. Then one is a Ravan, one is a Ram. Everything is predetermined. So Ravan need not feel guilty. Ram need not feel superior. Everything is predetermined, so you are just actors, just on a stage, playing a role. To give you this feeling that you are playing a role, a predetermined pattern you are fulfilling, to give you this feeling so that you can transcend it. This is the device. It is very difficult, because we are so much accustomed thinking fate as a theory, not only as a theory but as a law, that we cannot understand this attitude of taking these laws and theories as devices. I will explain you. One example will be helpful. I was in a city. One man came. He was a Mohammedan, but I didn't know. I was not aware. And he was so dressed that he looked like a Hindu. Not only looked, but as he talked with me, he was of the Hindu type. He was not a Mohammedan type. He asked me one question. He said, Mohammedans, Christians, they say that there is only one life. Hindus, Buddhists, Jainas, they say there are many lives, a long sequence of lives. Unless one is liberated, one goes on and on, being reborn again and again. So what do you say? If Jesus was an enlightened man, he must have known, or Muhammad, or Moses, they must have known, if they were enlightened men, that there are many lives, not one. Or if you say they are right, then what about Mahavir, Krishna, Buddha, Sankara? They all cannot be enlightened. One thing is certain. If Christianity is right, then Buddha is wrong, then Krishna is wrong, then Mahavir is wrong. And if Mahavir and Krishna and Buddha are right, then Muhammad, Jesus, Moses are wrong. So tell me, I am very much puzzled. I am in a mess, confused. And both cannot be right. How both can be right? Either there are many lives or there is one. How both can be right? He was a very intelligent man. He has studied many things. And he said, so you cannot just escape that both are right. Both cannot be right. It is logically so. Both cannot be right. But I said, they need not be. Your approach is absolutely wrong. Both are devices. Neither is right, neither is wrong. Both are devices. It became impossible for him to understand what I mean by device. Muhammad, Jesus and Moses, they were talking to a very different mind. Buddha, Mahavir, Krishna, they were talking to a very different mind. So all the religions born in India, there are really two source religions, Hindu and Jew. So all the religions born out of Hinduism believe in rebirth, many births. And all the religions born of Jewish thinking, Mohammedan, Christian, they believe in one life. These are two devices. Try to understand it. Because our minds are fixed, taking things as theories, not as devices. So many times people come to me, they say, one day you said this is right, and another day you said this is right, and both cannot be right. Of course, both cannot be right, but no one is saying that both are right. I am not concerned at all which is right and which is wrong. I am only concerned which device works. In India, they use this device of many lives. Why? There are many points. All the religions born in the West, particularly out of Jewish thinking, they were religions of poor people, uneducated. Were their prophets. Jesus was not educated, Muhammad was not educated, Moses was not. They were all uneducated, unsophisticated, simple. And they were talking with masses who were not sophisticated at all. And they were poor. They were not rich. For a poor man, one life is more than enough. More than enough. He is starving, dying. If you say to him there are so many lives, you will go on being reborn and reborn. You will move in a wheel of 1,001 lives. A poor man will just feel frustrated about the whole thing. What are you saying? One life is too much. Don't talk of 1,001 lives, of million lives. Don't talk. Give us heaven immediately after this life. God becomes a reality only if He can be achieved after this life. Immediately. Buddha, Mahavir, Krishna, they were talking to a very rich society. Today, it has become difficult to understand because the whole wheel has turned. Now West is rich and East is poor. Then West was poor and East was rich. All the Hindu avataras, all the Tirthankaras of Jainas, all the Buddhas, they are all princes. They belong to royal families. They were cultured, educated, sophisticated, refined in every way. You cannot refine a Buddha more. He was absolutely refined, cultured, educated. Nothing can be added. Even if Buddha comes today, nothing can be added. And they were talking to a society which was rich. Remember, for a rich society, there are different problems. For a rich society, pleasure is meaningless. Heaven, meaningless. For a poor society, heaven is very meaningful. A rich society is living in heaven, it becomes meaningless. So you cannot propose, you cannot create an urge to do something for heaven. They are already in it and bored. So Buddha, Mahavir, Krishna, they don't talk about heaven, they talk of freedom. They don't talk of a pleasant world beyond. They talk a transcendental world where there is neither pain nor pleasure. Jesus' heaven would not have appealed them. They were already in it. And secondly, for a rich man, the real problem is boredom. For a poor man, promise of pleasure in future. For a poor man, suffering is the problem. For a rich man, suffering is not the problem. For a rich man, boredom is the problem. He is bored of all pleasures. Mahavir, Buddha and Krishna, they all used this boredom. And they said, if you don't do anything, you are going to be born again and again. This wheel will move. Remember, the same life will be repeated. The same sex, the same richness, the same food, same palaces. Again and again, 1,001 times you will be moving in a wheel. A rich man who has known all pleasures, this is not a good prospect of repetition. Repetition is the problem. That is the suffering for him. He wants something new. And Mahavir and Buddha say, nothing new. This world is old. Nothing is new under the heaven. Everything is just old. And you have tasted all these things before, and you will go on tasting them. You are in a wheel moving. Go beyond it. Take a jump out of the wheel. For a rich man, if you create a device which intensifies his feeling of boredom, only then he can move towards meditation. For a poor man, if you talk about boredom, you are talking meaningless thing. A poor man is never bored. Never. Only a rich man is bored. A poor man is never bored. He is always thinking of future. Something is going to happen and everything will be okay. He needs a promise. But if the promise is very long, it becomes meaningless. It must be immediate. So Jesus is reported to have said that in my life, in your life, you will see the kingdom of God. That statement has haunted whole Christianity for 20 centuries. Because Jesus said, in your life, immediately you are going to see the kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God has not come even yet. So what did he mean? And he said the world is going to end soon. Don't waste time. Time is short. Jesus says time is very short. There is nothing to waste it. Immediately the world is going to end and you will have to reply. So repent. Jesus created a feeling of immediacy through the concept of one word. He knew. Buddha and Mahavir also knew. But whatsoever they knew is not told. Whatsoever they devised is known. This was a device to create immediacy, urgency. So you begin to act. India was an old country, rich. There was no question of urgency in future promise. There was only one way possible to create urgency if you can create more boredom. If a man feels that he is going to be born again and again, again and again, infinitely, ad infinitum, he immediately comes and asks, how to be freed from this wheel? This is too much. Now I cannot continue it anymore, because whatsoever can be known, I have known. If this is to be repeated, it is a nightmare. I don't want to repeat it. Something new. So Buddha and Mahavir said there is nothing new under the sky. Everything is old and a repetition. And you have repeated it for many, many lives, and you will go on repeating for many, many lives. Beware of the repetition. Beware of the boredom and take a jump. The device is different, but the purpose is the same. Take the jump. Move. Transform yourself, whatsoever you are. Transform yourself from it. If we take religious statements as devices, then there is no contradiction. Then Jesus and Krishna and Muhammad and Mahavir, they mean the same thing. They create different routes for different people, different techniques for different minds, different appeals for different attitudes. But those are not principles to be fought over and argued. They are the devices to be used and transcended and thrown. This much for today.